Module Overview. This foundational module explores the intricate nature, psychology, and science behind creative thinking. It presents an in-depth analysis of what creativity is and what it is not by dismantling myths, analyzing thought models, and examining human cognition through historical, cultural, and scientific lenses. You will examine how creative thinking has evolved across societies, how the brain functions during the creative process, and how both internal and external factors influence creative output. The module aims to establish a solid intellectual and psychological framework upon which you can build more advanced techniques and artistic innovation in later modules. It invites you to reflect on their current creative capacities, understand what blocks or fuels their imagination, and appreciate the diversity of thought and innovation that has shaped human expression across millennia. Defining creativity. Beyond buzzwords, understanding creativity is the ability to generate novel and useful ideas, distinguishing between creativity, talent, and intelligence. Forms of creativity: artistic, scientific, interpersonal, strategic, etc. 4 Ps of creativity: person, process, product, and press, environment. The difference between everyday creativity and eminent creativity: big C versus little c. Debunking myths about creativity. Myth 1: creativity is an inborn trait. Myth 2: only artists and musicians are creative. Myth 3: creativity requires total freedom without rules. Myth 4: creative people are always eccentric or irrational. Myth 5: pressure and stress automatically boost creativity. Each myth will be deconstructed with psychological research, real-life examples, and thought experiments. The neuroscience of creative thinking. Brain regions involved in creativity: default mode network, executive function, and salience network. How the brain toggles between divergent and convergent thinking. Creativity and neuroplasticity. Can creativity be trained? The impact of sleep, exercise, meditation, and environment on creativity. The role of dopamine, attention, and unconscious processing. Cognitive models of creativity. Divergent thinking: fluency, flexibility, originality, and elaboration. Convergent thinking: evaluation, judgment, and refinement of ideas. The Genoplour model: generation plus exploration. Wallace's 4 stages of creativity: preparation, incubation, illumination, and verification. Remote associations and conceptual blending. Historical and cultural perspectives on creativity. Creativity in ancient civilizations: Egypt, Mesopotamia, Greece, China, and indigenous societies. Renaissance innovation: Leonardo da Vinci and polymathic thinking. The Enlightenment and scientific creativity. Cultural interpretations: individualist, Western versus collectivist, Eastern creativity. How colonization, migration, and globalization impact cultural innovation. Personal barriers to creative thinking: fear of failure and rejection, over-reliance on logic and linearity, perfectionism and over-criticism, mental fatigue and lack of inspiration, fixed mindset versus growth mindset. The power of curiosity and wonder. Curiosity as a precursor to innovation. How children's playfulness mirrors creative experimentation. Reclaiming childlike thinking in adulthood. Imagination as a rehearsal for real-life problem-solving. The creative environment. Psychological safety and freedom of expression. Physical space design, light, noise, aesthetics, and layout. Social and cultural support systems. Influence of mentors, collaborators, and community. Practical reflection prompts. Recall a time when you solved a problem in an unconventional way. What factors enabled that? Identify a belief or myth you've held about creativity and challenge it. Map your creative highs and lows over the last year and analyze what influenced them. Write a mini biography of your creative journey so far. Key takeaways. Creativity is not limited to specific people or professions. It is a universal cognitive skill. Myths about creativity often prevent people from reaching their full potential. Creative thinking involves a balance of divergent, generative, and convergent, evaluative processes. Neuroscience confirms that creativity can be nurtured through environment, mindset, and intentional practice. The roots of creative expression span all civilizations and times, reflecting its deep human significance.